Fredericksburg was a city of hospitals.
You can see their fresh bandages, wounded soldiers right here, and you can look into the faces of those who have just been through one of the most severe tests that any of us could really imagine.
Coming up from the American Battlefield Trust.
We're standing in downtown Fredericksburg, Virginia, and it might seem strange that we're kind of tucked in behind a warehouse with cars parked around us. We're here by special access due to Plank Realty. We want to thank them for having us out here. This is actually the scene of one of the most famous photographs taken in the Fredericksburg area, and it's a picture of the wounded. In May of 1864, the city of Fredericksburg, Virginia, was a city of hospitals. Why is that? It's because the Overland Campaign of 1864 is kicked off 17 miles to the west at a place called the Wilderness. Army of Northern Virginia, the Army of the Potomac will clash there, move south to Spotsylvania Courthouse, then to the North Anna River, producing more than 60,000 casualties between these three battles. To evacuate the wounded, we need a major population center. And here at Fredericksburg, Virginia, which is the closest population center, we have a river, we also have a railroad, which can take our wounded up to Alexandria, Virginia, Washington, D.C., and then to parts beyond. Fredericksburg was a city of hospitals. We had the Baptist Church being used as a hospital, Planters Hotel, the Presbyterian Church, even the warehouses are being used as hospitals. Some of the businesses are being used by do-gooders of the day, the U.S. Sanitary Commission. Think about a nonprofit today who can come down to the front and give aid and comfort to wounded soldiers. The Sanitary Commission is what we would think of maybe as the Red Cross.
And into the city, specifically on May 20th, 1864, come Civil War photographers, namely in this case, James Gardner, who secured multiple photos in this area showing the Sanitary Commission operation. But we're here specifically on this patio to show you the most well-known of all of those, and that is a scene showing wounded soldiers right here with a man on crutches who looks like actor Jeremy Renner to me, standing right there with the fuzzy hair, a nurse next to him, other wounded soldiers on both sides, some in vests and shirt sleeves, others sort of laying out on the ground. You can see their fresh bandages just 8 days after the fighting, for instance, at the Mule Shoe or the Bloody Angle at Spotsylvania. You can see graffiti on the wall, no doubt made by some of these soldiers or the do-gooders who were actually here. You can see a stretcher, you can see crutches laid out about, and you can look into the faces of those who have just been through one of the most severe tests that any of us could really imagine in terms of these two of the top 5 most costly battles of the Civil War.
Yeah, and 2 of those contestants in these battles lay right here, and they're both first sergeants. They have chevrons on their upper arm with a small diamond above it. We know that they're first sergeants. One's chevrons seems to be lighter than the other, so that may tell us that one is in the infantry because they usually had a sky blue style for their chevrons, whereas the other with the darker chevrons, it looks like it might be the red of the artillery, indicating he was an artillerist or a cannoneer. What's amazing about this is one of the men is actually wearing his Corps identification. That's the modern forerunners of our divisional patches we use today in the U.S. Army. And it is the Greek cross of the 6th Army Corps. So we know at least one of these men served in the 6th Corps. We can also see that they're laying beside this wall, and we know it because we have ghost marks, as we would call them. There was whitewash here coming up part of the building, and today that whitewash is still there today, visible. Obviously, they try to take it away over time, but still that paint is down in the crevices of these bricks. I love the fact that you could see a lady sitting there, most likely one of the nurses, with a canteen on her lap. And it might be one of those bullseye canteen, but looks like they might have ripples in the side of it. You can definitely see the wool on the outside of it and the canteen strap. You can also see a man sitting near her who's propping his leg up on a camp stool, which is basically a stool like we would have today without a backing, but it would be collapsible and you could carry it along. And it's made out of linen and wood, and that would be a perfect way to put your leg up. Another man right in front of me is propping his leg up on carpeting. Could it have come out of the warehouse? Could it come out of one of these homes that are nearby? Potentially, but that's being used for his legs. And we can see many of these men uniformed in a variety of different ways. The first sergeants, they are basically ready to throw on their gear and head out to battle. Another man with the crutches has large baggy pants on. That might indicate he was a Zouave. We don't know that for sure, but you can just see how large those pants are. And then we can see some of the other men in their various states of dress. So this is a perfect example of what you would see behind the lines in a city of hospitals such as Fredericksburg right after these wounded were just tended to.
And I can't stress enough that coming back to these photos and looking at them again for the first time, to be able to see things you might not have noticed before. I'd never thought to look for the whitewash until today when Kris pointed it out to me. And we are thankful for people who come out and do this work. To Tim York, for pointing out some of the individual bricks that are still the same in the building. For William Frazanito for being, I think, the first one to come out here and to put James Gardner's series properly in the proper date of May 20th in this very vicinity right here. And you can do this stuff yourself. Download your favorite Civil War pictures, zoom in, and might teach you a little bit more about American history.
Get inspired at battlefields.org.